Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Nazihatul Shima binti Jamli with metric number 1727248. I am from CCRN3152 section 2 with Dr. ZABIDI. In this video, I would like to share with all of you the usefulness of 10 types of notes. Okay, this note is very beneficial to us in our daily life and especially when we go to camping. So let's check it out.
Overhand knot. Did you know the easiest top knot to tie? The overhand is used to keep a rope from slipping out of a hole through which it has been threaded. Usually, an overhand knot is used for fishing, climbing, and shoelaces. Step 1. Cross the end of the rope over the top of the remaining rope, making a Q shape. Step 2. Tuck the end of the rope or the tail of the Q up through the loop from behind. Step 3. Tighten. Pull the rope at both ends to tighten. Figure 8 knot. Step 1. Make Q shape. Cross the end of the rope over the top of the remaining rope, making a Q shape. Step 2. Twist top around. Pinch the top of the loop and twist it around once away from the tail of your Q. Step 3. Pull end through loop. Pull the end of the rope or the tail of the Q up through the upper loop from behind. Step 4. Pull the rope at both ends to tighten, forming a figure 8. The reef knot. Step 1. Cross the end of the rope in your left hand over the end in your right hand to form an X. Ends. Bring the end of rope in your left hand down behind the end in your right hand, then back up. Bring that end down behind the other end again and continue pulling it through the loop that forms. Pull the two ends to a symmetrical length and you have got a perfect square reef knot on your hands. The reef knot, also known as the square knot, is as simple as tying your shoes. In fact, it is tying our shoes. Sheet band knot. Step 1. Fold one end of the thicker rope back on itself to form a band or bike that looks like an U-shape tip on its left side. Step 2. Slip thin rope through bike. Slip one end of the thinner rope through the bike from behind. Step 3. Now, wrap the end of the thinner rope around both arms of the bike, crossing over the short arm first and staying below the trailing end of the thin rope. Bringing the end of the thinner rope around to the front, pass it between itself and the short arm. Tighten the knot by pulling both ends of the thinner rope. Did you know the sheet band is the primary knot used in the making of nets? How to tie an open clove hitch knot. Step 1. Take one rope and put it on another rope and make it Q shape. Step 2. Make the same thing as step 1. Step 3. Bring the Q shape of the right hand above the Q shape in the left hand. The last step, take an object and put the knot onto the object and tighten it. Typically, we will use the clove hitch knot to attach a line to a rod or bar. How to tie the clove hitch knot? Step 1. Loop counterclockwise. Loop the end of the rope counterclockwise around the object you are hitching to, let's say a pole, and cross it over the remaining length of rope. Step 2. Make another loop. Make another counterclockwise loop around the pole, but this time pass the end of the rope through the loop you have just formed between the now two strands of rope looping around the pole. Step 3. Tighten knot. Pull both ends to tighten the knot. Did you know a hitch is a knot that is tied to an object? A lashing knot ties two objects together. This is a small but versatile knot. Bowline knot. Step 1. Make Q shape. Cross the end of the rope over the top of the remaining rope, making a Q shape. Step 2. Thread tail. Pass a short portion of the end of the rope or the tail of the queue through the loop from behind and back along the remaining rope. Thread it loosely, leaving behind a new large, loose loop to the right of your queue. Step 3. Pass short portion. Pass the short portion of the end around the back of the remaining rope. Step 4. Bring the short portion of the end back up and once again pass it through the small loop, this time from the front. Step 5. Cinch the knot close and use the resulting loop to secure your bow. Typically, we will use bow line knot in making a fixed loop in the end of a line. A sheepshank knot. Step 1. Make 2 oppositely facing bites with the rope. Step 2. Loop the left end and pass the bite through it. Step 3. Make another loop with the right end. Step 4. Pass the bite at the right side through it. Step 5. Pull both ends to tighten the knot. The sheepshank knot is mostly used to shorten a length of rope temporarily. Not being a stable knot, it falls apart under too heavy or too little load. A timber hitch knot. Step 1. Pass the working end of a rope around the object and take a turn around the standing part. Tuck the working end back around itself 3 times with the lay of the rope. Step 2. Add 1 or 2 half hitch near the hauling end for hoisting and to keep load from twisting. Step 3. Tighten the knots. A timber hitch knot is a knot used to attach a single length of rope to a cylindrical object. Secure while tension is maintained, it is easily untied even after heavy loading. The timber hitch is a very old knot. A fisherman knot. Step 1. Grab a hold of both ends of the rope. The end in your left hand is end B and the end in your right hand is end A. Step 2. Cross end B in front of end A so that the end B is behind the loop and pointing down. Step 3. Pull end B up through the loop and to the left, thus creating a small loop on top of the larger loop below. Step 4. Pull end B through the small loop from back to front with your right hand. Step 5. Tighten the knot by pulling end B with your right hand while holding the part of the large loop next to end A in your left hand. Pull end A through the large loop from behind, pull it up, thus creating another small loop on top of the larger loop below. Step 7. Pull end A through the small loop from back to front and pull tightly with your left hand. Did you know a knot also means 1 nautical mile per hour? Sailors use to throw knot lines overboard and count how many knots fed out per 30 seconds to measure the speed of the vessel. The fisherman's knot works well for joining thin, stiff, or slippery lines. It requires little dexterity to tie, so is often used in stubborn materials.